On today's episode of Digital Champions, we're talking about the top 5 videos that you should make for your home care business. My name is Bonitatibus, and this is Digital Champions, the show about helping you master the digital marketing world. So here's a hint, none of them are talking about your services. Yes, are videos about your services good to have? Absolutely. But when it comes to creating valuable educational content that you want to be able to get shared, that people are going to get value from, that you're going to be able to educate people, we're talking about 5 things that you want to discuss that are going to make greater impact on your audience and your community. Now, before we dive into the 5 that I believe that are good places to start, I want you to also consider that the best place for you to start is focusing on topics that you actually enjoy talking about. I'm going to give you some suggestions of places that you can start, but if it's something that you enjoy and you're passionate about talking about, that's going to educate your audience, those types of videos are going to do well. They're going to shine. They're going to stand out if you're passionate about talking about it. So that's the first place to start. Now, if you're not sure where to go in regards to that, I have some suggestions. So, first thing is understanding the CDC, all right? What are the top 10 leading causes of death? So, number 1 is heart disease. Heart disease is a huge thing, especially affects the older generation, which is our target audience, and understanding that this is who we want to communicate with. There are a ton of things that you can talk about in regards to reducing heart disease, from diet, exercise, not smoking, not drinking, how can you incorporate, and then there's, all of those things evolve even more of certain diets within seniors, certain exercises that you can do. Do you see how this evolves and how video marketing is so easy to talk about these things, creating content around these things, to reminding people to just standing, how they can use a chair for exercise, how you can do push-ups on a wall as a senior. These are things that can be super helpful, educational, that people are going to want to value and share. And that does reduce heart disease, which, like I said, is one of the top 10 leading causes of death. So if you focus on this and understanding that one of the biggest fears is that people don't want to die, right? So we're focusing on how we can help people to live longer, healthier lives. Simple as that. Great piece of content. Lots of different things to focus on when it comes to heart disease and expanding on heart disease topics. The next one is accidents, unintentional falls, things of that sort. This is a big one. I did a whole video where I talked about preventing falls and fall prevention and how that is one of the top 10 leading causes of death. And again, I'm going to star this, but I'm not going to spend as much time on it because I did a whole video on it. So you can go check that video out. But accidents and fall prevention is a huge one. It is strokes. So when it comes to strokes, strokes are super common and there's a lot of things that can prevent strokes, and also being aware of what happens when strokes are happening and how to be aware of when a stroke is happening. You may have heard of it. It's called FAST. I'm blanking on the acronym right now, but hopefully you're the expert in this industry, remember? So hopefully you know FAST for preventing a stroke. I think it's FACE. So understanding that strokes is a huge one and how we can prevent strokes. So what are some other ones is like heat stroke is another one. All right. So how can we do that? Hydration, making sure that people are staying hydrated when it comes to, seniors during the summer. It's a big one, making sure that they're staying in the shade, having umbrellas. All of these things. And what you noticed that you may have done is I talked about in that fall prevention video that I did earlier. You can go check that out again, where I talked about using different events that surround the different topics that you're going to talk about. So for example, this is September 22nd is Fall Prevention Awareness Day. There's Stroke Prevention Month or week, and so you can focus around the topics that are around the areas. There's a whole month on heart disease. So again, when we focus on these different holidays, and then we're focusing on top 10 leading causes of death, but then we can schedule it around the different events that are happening, maybe events that we're running in the community. And again, so now we're providing content, but then we're also able to promote the things that are going on. Next one is Alzheimer's or dementia. All right. There's so much that you can talk about with dementia and Alzheimer's that can truly make a difference. That's a really tough disease. It's really hard on everyone that's involved, including the caregivers, but mainly the family members that are struggling with that, where your loved one can't even remember your name. And often they can get angry, or them as the loved one can get angry because they're not remembering or they're struggling. I know, my grandmother struggled with this a little bit, and from education was able to improve how to better be able to handle when my grandfather was, starting to deteriorate. He had Parkinson's, but, similar things that happen where, again, your memory isn't all there. And so the more that we can educate our audience about these topics, it's going to be super helpful to be able to help people that are going through these issues. And so when somebody's searching for resources to help, your stuff's going to be found when they're searching for it, because you are uploading it to YouTube using certain tags, things of that sort, so that people can find it, or they're going to your website and they're seeing this information that can help them when they're looking around, looking for help, maybe looking for an Alzheimer's dementia specialist. So again, these are really good ones to talk about. And again, this can evolve. So the topic's 5 videos, but really you could easily make 10, 20 videos off of all of these topics by breaking them down into multiple videos. So easy, so many things. And if you specialize in Alzheimer's and dementia, then you may want to make a whole series on that. And again, doing it during Alzheimer's Awareness Month, focusing on those dates, focusing on those topics. If you're doing an Alzheimer's walk or a fundraiser, then that's a great time to create content around this specific topic, and then you can promote the cause or the association that you may be working with. The last one is suicide. Now, this one, can be real tough, as you get towards the later end of your life, and, people who maybe don't have as a supportive family. Suicide can be a really tough one. And I think it's super important that we're educating our audiences about suicide prevention for our seniors, and, making sure that they're happy and what you can do to make sure that you can prevent suicide. And there's a lot of cool things like buying your loved one a tablet so that you can make it easy to do FaceTime. If you've ever heard of like the Facebook portal, that's a cool little tool where you can make it easily to do video chat. So those types of things, using technology to, make sure that you're there for your loved one, is going to help with suicide prevention. So these are the top 5 things that you can do. Again, lots of different areas that these can go into. And I will say this again, if you specialize in a certain area, which I hope you do specialize, you have some type of specialty program, then you want to spend a lot of time in creating more and more content about that thing that you specialize in. So if you're claiming to be the Alzheimer's or dementia expert, you want to prove it. Show what you know and what you can share. But also keep in mind that if you try and talk about things like what's happening in the brain and try and sound all intelligent and smart, it's not as beneficial as just breaking it down into simple, easy, digestible things that your audience is going to be able to understand. Because that's what we want. The idea is not to sound smart. The idea is to get them to comprehend and be able to implement the things that you're teaching, or better understand the things that you're teaching, so that they can live a better life or help their loved one live a better life. So all of these things, again, focusing on the CDC top 10 leading causes of death, I chose 5 of them that I think would be good places to start for you as you get started and as you create more and more video content for your business. So if you want to learn more about leveraging social media and video marketing, download my free ebook, Video Social 101, so you can get started today.